Hello, welcome to this sacred space. Welcome to the now moment. It's an honor and a blessing to connect with you. Today's topic feels important, but what I'm going to say is not so clear to me, which is why I'm coming on here to experience it, to become more clear as I speak. Oftentimes we do this with friends, speaking with them not so much as to hear their advice, but to hear our internal experience said aloud to another soul and to feel validated and heard. Sometimes when we are within our mindscape, it can get a little confusing. Like there's so many currents and they're all moving around and oh this one, oh this, oh that, chill. But when we take the time to speak our truth out loud, then it becomes more coherent, more linear, and easier to understand, clearer. So today I connect with you for the intention of clarity. Specifically clarity on how can we remain centered and grounded enough to remember our inherent worthiness, particularly when we are interacting with an experience that we are perceiving as an attack on our worth. When we are encountering an experience that we are taking really personally and which is causing us negative emotions, anger, frustration, sadness, feelings of unworthiness. I had this experience yesterday. A friend of mine recently had an experience she shared as well. And although the scenarios are vastly different in the story and the drama, the core theme that oh, I just had a caterpillar on my neck. The core theme, like that you're suddenly second guessing yourself and your worth based on the actions of another. Like, I'm sure this is something that many of you can relate to. It's a pretty common human experience. Yeah. So, we're never going to be able to control the actions of another, and we're never going to be able to control our world, to make sure that we never encounter difficult scenarios, that we never encounter people who act in a way that we don't like. And just that right there is asking for our acceptance, to release control, to accept that this world is mysterious and unpredictable and full of so many individual actors. Though we have inherent unity and connection, at our core, everyone is acting from their own story, their own landscape, their own personality structure and complex. And a lot of those are going to be different than yours. So a lot of their responses and approaches are going to be different than the way that you would respond or approach. And I find that even within myself, like, sometimes I respond in a way that I don't want, that I don't like, that's not ideal for me. And so even releasing control of that, and just like fully embracing An artist that I love very much recently shared a prompt to embrace all of ourselves, not just the ones that are pretty and shiny and the best, but to welcome all of ourselves fully and wholly and equally. And this practice extends to our brothers and sisters on this planet Earth, to embrace them equally. So coming full circle, back around in the spiral of this moment, we can't control other people, and so sometimes we're triggered by others. Whether it's someone not following through on their word, or someone reacting with harshness when what we would like is softness. Whatever the situation is, this moment is an invitation to remember to be fully centered and fully in alignment with your higher self and with the truth of your being, and to remember that you are so worthy and that their actions do not reflect you, even if they were inspired by you. People act from their own centers, their own heart space, their own traumas, their own stories, whatever it is. They're acting because of them. And even if they're acting because of them to you, the task set forth to you by your higher self is to not take it personally. And drawing upon the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, one of which is not taking things personally, we can also not make assumptions about why they're acting a certain way. Because even if they have shared their truth with us, there are likely factors and influences leading to their behavior that we're not aware of. And this is a call for compassion, understanding, and total and full acceptance of our fellow dream walkers. The caterpillar that landed on my neck is now climbing up the tripod. So he really wants to say hi. And remind you that you will, just like him, soon to emerge from your cocoon and be a butterfly. Okay. Interesting. So, like the process of a caterpillar becoming becoming a butterfly, which is a transformative process, so too can this process of centered acceptance of what is be a transformative experience for you. And it really does require you to be centered within yourself, to know your essence, and you don't necessarily need to be unshakable, but like my teacher has said, you can be more flexible like a bamboo or a young branch. In the winter, when a lot of snow falls on the trees, the heavy, old, really rigid branches, they just break. But the young ones, they give, and they let the snow down and they come back up. Bamboo is also flexible like this, and if we can be flexible like this with the heaviness of the experience with others, then we can also rise unbroken and untethered. The river is flowing. The creek bed has been dry for about 1.5 years here, and we've recently had a lot of rain. And now the river is full, and today the sun is out and I see blue sky for the first time in weeks, and it's medicine. Medicine of renewal and hope coming through. A blessing from the divine. In this renewing water, in this blessing sky, I pray to remember when I again encounter difficulty. Because I know I will. Because I am alive. And in this dream, in this world, in this human experience, and we encounter difficulties. It's unavoidable. And I think the really big question for me personally, and maybe for you as well, is how can we remain centered, remain balanced, remain aware of our worthiness when interacting with an experience which is prompting us to feel unworthy? How can we interact with this without closing off and without putting walls up? How can we feel the waves of emotions coming through without being washed away by them, without identifying with them? Today after Qigong, we were sitting around the table, and this really beautiful woman was speaking about her process and what was coming up for her, and she said something so wise. She said, it's about not identifying with what's coming up and with the emotions. Witnessing it. This is very in alignment with a book I recently read on Tantric Buddhism as well. Being the witness. Being the witness. In the world, but not of the world. Meaning, you are here, you are embodied, but you are not identified. And you are not weaving stories with threads of attachment. It's not I am sad, it is I am experiencing sadness. It is not I am angry, it is I am experiencing anger. It is not I am unworthy, but I am experiencing feelings of unworthiness. It is not I am being attacked, but I am experiencing the sensation that my external world is coming at me in a harsh way. Ooh, that last one needs a little examining. Sometimes when we perceive we're being attacked, we're not. Not at all. But what about those moments when you are? How do you interact with that? Full circle on the spiral. You remain centered and grounded. The other day I had an experience that was very profound. I went into the dojo and I kneeled before a beautiful tapestry that belonged to the teacher of my teacher. And I kneeled in reverence, and I felt all of my fear come up all of it, or at least a lot of it. I felt this fear come up, and I cried, and I put my hands in prayer, holding my head up with my hands. I said, help, help. Help me to be centered. Help me to be grounded. Help me to be clear, to know with clarity. Help me walk my path of the heart. Thank you. And I received what I asked for. The universe wants to help you. And you are surrounded by guides and ancestors and beings who are there for you, to help you. And all you have to do is ask. A lot of these beings won't impose on your journey. They'll sprinkle blessings on your path for sure, but they won't impose, because you have free will, and that is one of the ultimate rules of this matrix, this dream, this world, this reality, this life, whatever it is. I don't really know. It's beautiful and wonderful and so mysterious. But there are so many blessings being laid upon your path should you open your eyes to them. And if you sincerely ask for help, it will be given to you. Trust in this. Now, the important thing to remember when receiving this help is that it will not always come in the form you expect. And so thus begins the practice of recognizing the lesson in everything. Recognizing how someone's harshness can actually just be a mirror for our own. And that our desire for them to be kinder and more truthful and authentic and more sweet, rather than putting the name of blame on them, why aren't you this way? Like, that's not helpful. You know what is helpful is that I recognize that that is the energy which I would wish to receive, and so that is the energy that I will offer. So if someone in your life is not acting with integrity towards you, they're making actions which you find hurtful. Why is it hurtful? What would you have rather received instead? And then offer that to everyone. This is how we shift. And this is how we change. And this is how we impact meaningful change in our world and in our reality. And oh my goodness. This is why I come on here. I really feel like a channel, and like my higher self is speaking to me, through me, to you, but also to me. It's so beautiful and quantum, and I'm very grateful. So when we encounter a difficult situation that we perceive as hurtful, let our lives themselves be the antidote. When we encounter difficult situations, let us pray and know ourselves as centered, grounded, and aware. I love you so much. And here is our caterpillar friend. He crawled all the way up the tripod and all the way to the top to say hello. Blessings.